Take two. So this is our Vizio Soundbar, model S4251w-B4. It's a 42-inch soundbar. We've had it for a couple years, and then it stopped coming on. There's a little power light down here in the corner that's supposed to light up. Vizio's help desk and online suggestions said to plug and replug and unplug and try cycling the power supply and try all this stuff, and I tried it all and I couldn't figure it out. So I've been looking online, and I come up with a solution, and people say that there's a capacitor on the board that needs to be changed. So I was trying to figure out how to get it apart. No matter what I searched for, I couldn't figure out how to disassemble it, and then I just got kind of aggressive with it carefully, and then lo and behold, it's the simplest explanation. Of course, it's the typical plastic pegs that they use on speaker surrounds. So the plastic pegs drop down into holes, and it just pops off pretty quick and easy. So I was excited after not figuring out how to do it. There's lights in the front of here, so it's actually plugged in here. So looking at it, there's one circuit board down between these two center channel, left and right channel, and then there's a second board, and I knew that people talked about the two boards. Wasn't sure which one he needed, so I just started in the middle. There's these real long skinny screws, 4 of them in the center channel. So take out the 4 screws, and then thing's kind of heavy, and I haven't unplugged it yet, but so there's your 2 boards. This one's got a lot of little surface mount resistors on it, and I'm looking for C-21, capacitor 21. I didn't really see any capacitors on that side. Over here on this side, kind of the same thing, and I realized this is the input, the power supply side. People had talked about working on the power supply, or replacing the power supply side. So remove a couple more screws. There's a couple down low on the board, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 more screws, and some of them are these little flathead wood screws, and then there's some little flat type style that go on the board down below. But let's see if I can do this without dropping it. Oh, that's right, it goes this way. And again, I haven't unplugged it yet, which I probably wouldn't hurt to do. So there's your other board. And of course everything's on the underside. And there's no, again, some surface mount stuff on this side, but nothing indicating the C-21. So the flathead screws, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 of those go through, or actually, I think that was just 4 of them. The other ones are the through screws, and then the power wires down there are, I don't think that's a plug. I think those are power wires are soldered and glued in. So there's some little, I don't know if those are capacitors or not. There's a couple capacitors, but they're not the C1, C3 heat sink, another capacitor. So I'm looking it over, trying to find, there's a capacitor, and there's a couple big guys, and then there's C21, or 22, excuse me, right by the end of the board, C22. So people were saying that they were bulged. The 21 was bulged. So I was feeling it, felt pretty flat all around, and then Gail happened to notice this other one, just happens to be C21, but you can actually see it from this angle that the top of it is risen up. It's a little swollen. You can feel it really easily. It's kind of hard to see visually, but that's definitely your bulged C21 capacitor. So one guy on one of the other pages I was reading had posted a link on Amazon where you can get 6 of them, 5 of them for $6. So I got an order coming, and maybe I'll post a repeat video follow-up when I get the solder sucker and try to get, let's see, it's not that one, it's this one. Where is it? Right there. So I have to figure out which feed it's got, and I know the polarity matters from what I read. and get the solder off and get a new one in and see if we can power it back up. The thing was produced in 2014. We had it for a couple of years and it's been great. We really enjoy listening to it. Sounds pretty wonderful. It's got the Bluetooth sub cabinet that has the wired surround speakers. So that's how you find your C-21 bulged capacitor. It's under the right side. As you're standing there facing it, they've actually got the plastic labeled left and right, but it's the power supply board side. So hope that helps somebody, because I spent the better part of 2 days looking up stuff and couldn't figure it out on my own. Couldn't find it with help and kind of got experimenting, and there you go. It's bulged. You can't really tell, but there's your C-21.